I've done business coaching with several people, quite a few people throughout the industry. A lot of people hit me up on DMs, emails, text messages, etc. So if you do have any questions, go ahead and just DM me on whatever platform you're on, or go ahead and check out my email, tricountylocksmithservice@gmail.com. You can reach me there, and I can help you out and give you some assistance that way if that's what you want to do. But as far as just overall stuff, I've just taken what I continually tell people over and over and over again with those basic building blocks and those basic tools, and I'm providing it here so that everybody can go ahead and benefit from it. So many people say that there's just all these little different things, they need to do, and it is what it is. So for this one, last one we talked about goals. Okay, you have to have a business plan. I talked about writing out that business plan, and then every single year, or at least yearly, probably preferably quarterly, would be even better. If you can go ahead and do these quarterly and set those goals and come back and check those KPIs out and key performance indicators and see exactly where you're at along the way, that's really going to help you out. Okay, that's really going to help out, and it's going to help move you in the correct direction that you want to be so you can hit those goals. And the basic idea is if you shoot for the stars and you land on the moon, guess what? You still landed on the moon, right? That's kind of the concept behind it. If you shoot for the stars and you land on the stars and you land that $100,000 account this year, or whatever it is that you're looking for, hey, more power to you. That's awesome. So goals recap. It is beyond important to actually write them down. I shared my goals last time with you, so if you want to see those, just type my name, Wayne Winton, Locksmith Business Episode 1, and you can go check that out. It's on YouTube. It's on all these live. Get there from here, okay? So we take stock with what we have, and we understand where we're at and where we want to move to, and you have to build that map, and your goals and your business plan is your map. So that's why I keep going over it, and that's why I keep saying it's so important. Everybody thinks, oh, I've got it in my head, right? Well, what it does when you actually write everything out, when you write down those couple sentences and couple paragraphs, is it actually blends it in through another neural pathway. I mean, our brains are taking in information, and when we have a thought, we think that information, and if we actually write it out or speak it out, both of those build separate neural pathway connections in the brain so that it actually sticks and roots it in deeper. It's like if you just met somebody. I'm horrible with names, so what I'll have to do is when I first meet somebody, hi, my name is Jill. Okay, great. Jill, 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 Jill. I'll have to drill that into my head, and then I'll actually get a piece of paper and I'll actually write it out. After I write Jill 3 times and I say it 10 times, I've got that name down. Okay. Whereas normally, under normal circumstances, if I didn't do that, I would forget that name in 10 seconds and I would look like an idiot when I go to address Jill later on in that meeting that we're having. So what are you going to be doing to make your business grow, or to add to your business and make it grow? What are you going to be adding this year? I want to add a truck and a technician. Every time you add a truck and a technician, there's a formula for that as to how much each one of those trucks and technicians can bring in. And that's where you start making that massive gain. So if the formula is, you need to spend, depending on your budget, if you're going all new, then you're going to go spend $50,000 on a van. You're going to put $30,000 worth of tools in it. You're going to have an $80,000 to $100,000 investment. By the time it's all said and done, you throw on a wrap and some decaling. That's about where you're going to be. You can do it on the cheap. You could get a less expensive vehicle. You could get something used. I will probably get something used. I'll probably spend about, $25,000 on a vehicle, and then put, $10,000, $15,000 worth of tools into it. That includes drills, key machines, et cetera, and then just getting it stocked out. But we have a lot of stock left over from another vehicle, so we don't have to put a whole lot into it. So that is my massive action plan. I know how much I'm going to spend. I know what it's going to cost. It's going to cost about $30,000, $35,000 to get another vehicle on the road. I'm going to have, 6 months worth of payroll in the bank when we go to hire somebody, because they're not going to be producing income. They're going to be a total liability and a total tax on the company for those first 3 to 6 months. They're going to be absolutely useless because you're training somebody. It's so hard to find somebody with experience, especially in my area. And It's just easier for me to train people anyways. I find that if I have to train somebody, or if I bring somebody on that has a little bit of knowledge, it's usually just enough to be dangerous with, and then I have to unteach bad habits. It is so much easier to mold the clay while it's wet and give them that opportunity and shape them the way that I want to shape them from the beginning, as opposed to trying to break old habits to see what's happening, down the road, and then try and find, oh, you do things this way. That's really not the way that we do things. We're going to have to switch that to this. That's so much harder to do. So that's part of the plan. So I know what my investment is. I know what I have to have in the bank to get that started. I know what I have to be able to fork out for the vehicle and the outfitting, everything. So what are you going to be doing? You can put those down in the comments. It'll be like you writing it out. Okay, that counts. If you type it out and you put it down in the comment section below, I want to add another technician. I want to add another van. Or maybe it's something different. Maybe you don't have that high of a goal or aspiration. For me to bring 25% more in, I'm going to have to bring another person on and have another truck on the road. The average formula is, so we were talking about that, it's going to cost about $35,000 to probably put a truck and a tech on the road, or at least the van on the road. The technicians, the way that we have that broken down, they're bringing in $300,000 to $400,000 a year. So one tech, one van, fully stocked, fully trained, has the ability and the possibility to 10x that investment. I can have them bringing in $300,000, $350,000, $375,000 for the year once they're up and going, and that's why we're making the investment. So I'm making the investment in myself, in the company, and in an additional person. I'm also helping the economy. I'm buying a vehicle from somebody who's going to exchange cash for a vehicle, so they're going to have cash and they're going to spend it on something. Then I'm going to have the wrap place wrap it up, so they're going to get money and they're going to have something. The suppliers are going to get something because we're going to have to order another key machine and some stock blanks and some lever locks and deadbolts and the things that it takes to put that out there. So what else can you be doing to increase? Maybe you only want to grow by 5 or 10%. Let's take a small goal for anybody out there who has a small goal, 5, 10%. What education could you get to add to your skills toolbox so that you can bring in that extra money? So let's say you're only doing residential, commercial, and automotive. Okay, maybe those are your 3 main things. Okay, or maybe it's just residential and automotive. You could add commercial to your repertoire there and your toolbox. Or you could do more like full door servicing. Or you could get your fire door safety inspector certificate and deal to do that. That's a very inexpensive class that Aloha offers, that you can get your fire door inspection card, and then that's like a license to print money. You can, as a company, go out and talk to businesses and say, hey, I notice you have some things wrong with your door. I'm a fire inspector. I can inspect this door for you. I can tell you what's wrong with it. And then you can write them up a report, and then you can also hand them your card, and you can keep it separate. It's always a good idea to keep it separate and say, hey, I can also fix and repair this for you too. Here's a bid. If you want to use me, go ahead and use me. Get 3 bids from other people and see if we're a good fit, see if we match for you, and boom, you charged them whatever you were charging them for the original call that brought you out there. You charged them for the fire door inspection, so that costs money. I charge $125 every time we do that. And then, depending on what the repair is, you might get an exit device, probably a Von Duprin, and a door closer, probably an LCN door closer. I mean, these are expensive items where you're going to take that ticket that was that one rekey, and because you thought to ask about that other door or offer some of your other services, all of a sudden you took that $150 call and you turned it into a $500, $600, $700, $800 call, $1,200 call. Okay, these fire doors that are in these buildings are usually in really bad shape. The hinges are usually messed up. They don't align right. They don't have the correct reveal around them. They don't have the right the smoke strip isn't all the way in there, and the weather stripping stuff isn't in there all the time. The hardware goes bad. I mean, there's a ton of stuff you could do with that. So you could take a fire door safety class or fire door inspector class and add to your business that way. What are you going to be doing for your education this year? Or do you want to start learning more about safes? Do you want to add that to your repertoire? Do you do safe work and you want to add automotive to your toolbox? All of these different things you can start here and now. Okay, this is how you get your plan. Because I'm writing all of this out, now my focus is on each one of these things, and I'm building a plan to accomplish each one of these goals. I want to add to my education this year, so I'm going to be taking specific classes on the latest and greatest for electronic access and access control this year. I want to stay at the top of my game. I'm not entering into it as a beginner. I want to stay at the top of my game, and I want to sharpen my saw, and I want to stay sharp. Okay, if you got a saw and you're sawing this log back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and you don't take time to sharpen the saw, you're just creating smoke, wearing out the saw and wearing yourself out. You need to stop for a second, sharpen the saw, sharpen your knife, sharpen your toolbox, sharpen your skill set, and then get back out there and allow yourself to make more money by doing so. The other thing is, what trade shows are you going to be going to this year? Put that in the comment section down below. What trade shows are you going to be going to? Are you going to be going to IML? Are you going to be going to Banner? Are you going to be going to UHS Hardware? Are you going to be going to a local association? You going to the big Aloha event? Where are you going to be going this year? What classes are you going to take? What are you going to do while you're there? What else can we do at a trade show to expand our business? Well, we can do networking, okay? So are you committed to meeting new people? Are you committed to meeting 5 new people that you can put in your phone that you can use to contact as another asset or resource to either give you more technical support or give you some business ideas to help you grow and expand your business? If you go to a convention this year and you just meet with one other person at the bar or in the classroom or anywhere else and just say, hey, you know what? I'm looking for somebody to help share my social media posts because I'm trying to grow my social media platform. I'm trying to grow my company's social media platform. You can do that. And then, hey, now you've got somebody who's going to share your stuff. You can share their stuff. And now your social medias are going to start blowing up and getting bigger because now you're exposing each other to each other's audience. Do that with 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 people. And all of a sudden, now you have drastically changed the game. You have massively impacted what you're doing and massively grown just by doing that one step. You went to a trade show and convention, you got extra education, you got more tools, you got more skills, you got more network, you got more everything. You got more social media, you got more reach. You did it all just by going to one of these events. Are you committed to measuring your success and growing? Okay. After you take that class, let's say you're going to add safe work to your business or your own personal business, okay? Or you're going to add a safe technician and you're going to send them out to go learn safe work. Where are you going to get that information from? I offer on-demand classes. If you want to hear about them, DM me, put it in the comment section, or email me at tricountylocksmithservice@gmail.com. We do education on demand. So you can hit me up. You pay your money, I send you a video link, you learn right then and there. If you want to learn how to do a continuous hinge and you have a job tomorrow and you need to get the hinge, overnight it in, and learn how to install a hinge, you can contact me, ask for my continuous hinge installation class. I will send that to you. You can learn how to do it that night, and you can install that hinge and be making $500 an hour the very next day. That's how much I charge, at least. The hinge is usually about 130 to 150 to 180 bucks. I'm charging about 750, 785 to install one. So right then and there, I'm making over $500 an hour. I'm making more than most attorneys in the area. And I don't have a college education, and I don't have doctor or attorney loans to pay back to the school. To wrap things up here a little bit, I want to keep these, fairly bite-sized. They're a little longer than the average content. Try and keep them about 15, 20 minutes long, just so I want to deliver for you. I want to give you some nuggets. I want to give you some information. I want to make sure that you take something home out of this. But I also want to make sure that we keep it in a timely manner, because nobody has patience and nobody pays attention to anything anyways anymore. Just look at TikTok. If you don't watch a video and grab somebody's attention in 3 seconds, they leave and watch something else that's more exciting. So that's just today's world that we live in. What tools are you going to be investing in to grow this year? Are you going to be investing in education, labor, equipment, vans, vehicles, secretary, bookkeeper, CPA, attorney? All of these things are going to help you grow and help your business become stronger and more bold? Are you going to commit to putting 20% of your income away for a rainy day? There's something that a lot of people don't think about. How much money do you have in the bank account right now? Do you have enough? What happens if we have an event, a COVID, 2009 housing meltdown? What happens if there's something that happens? How long can you survive personally, and how long can your company survive if all work were to cease tomorrow or you were to cut your work in half? How long can you survive? Okay. I think it's a really good idea to the normal rule of thumb is going to be about 10 to 15% that people will put away of your total income. So if you make $500,000 a year, you should have 50 grand in the bank. I think it's a lot better idea to have 20%. So if you're bringing in 500,000, $500,000, which is easy for one owner and one tech. So if you got two people, two vans, that should be a very easy number to reach. And $250,000 a piece is not that much. We're doing better than that. Each one of our trucks is bringing in 325, 350. Okay, so that's kind of how that's shaken out and bringing it out. So you can adjust that and bring it up. But you want to make sure, hey, do you have that $100,000 in the bank? If you get hurt, if you get a back injury, if you need a surgery, if your vehicle blows up, if your transmission explodes, if your tech's transmission explodes, if your tech hurts themselves and they can't work, what are you going to do in all of those situations? And I'm only asking because it's not if something happens, it is always when something happens. So if you can plan ahead, you will be miles and miles and miles ahead of all of your competitors, because I can tell you from experience, there are not a lot of people that put money away. There's not a lot of people that plan for a rainy day. There's people that, hey, they're running a $500,000 or $1 million business and they only have $10,000 in the bank account because they're always getting behind and catching up on things. They're late on last year's taxes. They're behind on payroll. There's all these different things happening and they can't just get caught up. So versus the other guy who's got 100 grand in the bank, normally making $500,000 a year, okay? Now all of a sudden, if something happens to him, he can buy a truck, he can go throw down, he can put another person in the field, he can cover a couple months if he gets injured or his tech gets injured or both, or somebody gets in a car wreck and you don't have that resource available to you. Okay, so those are all things to think about. I really hope that this is helping people out there and giving this away. These are normally what I would charge $250 an hour for business coaching sessions. It's just those basics that I'm tired of saying over and over and over again. I'm going to be giving to everybody out there so that you can level up, raise your business, raise the bar higher. I'm adding value to you. I'm building you up. I'm helping out in every way possible. And if you have any questions, shoot it in the comments section. Shoot me a DM. Hit me up with an email, and we can help you however you and your business needs to be helped, customized, or educated. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Stay tuned. I'm going to keep doing these series, and then you can find the series because we'll label it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hopefully we'll do 20 or 30 of these things. So we'll see everybody later out there. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy and take care.